Hello, everybody. Welcome to CVG-TV. I'm Gregory Parks, and you are watching CONLink. With us for this installment of CONLink is another board of directors member, CJ Mantel. Hello, CJ. How are you doing today?
Hi, Gregory. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us. Now, what is your role on the CONvergence board of directors?
I am currently serving as the director of systems, which primarily at this point in time means that the registration system and all of its vagaries are up to me and my incredible crew on the registration team.
So that entails all the banks of terminals. Terminals, how old am I? I'm old enough to call computers terminals. All the people at the laptops and computers checking people in when they show up?
Correct, as well as all of the people who are working the back end of our software when they register on our website.
Wow. And then how does that work continue throughout the convention proper? Like once Thursday hits through Sunday, what changes or what focus changes in your position?
So in terms of my position, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. So the registration folks are kind of the first people you see at CONvergence, when you check in. But as the weekend goes on, they'll kind of pack up a little bit, and there'll always be someone there in case someone needs a new badge or in case someone can't get there until later in the weekend. But that registration space becomes kind of contracted and kind of goes away as we're all enjoying our weekend.
Yeah. Wow. And then, so with all of that going on and all of the behind the scenes and managing the registration and check-in and all of the back-end stuff that you mentioned, how do you keep yourself focused? How do you keep yourself rested? How do you keep yourself from overloading, overheating, melting over?
Well, in terms of at Con, that is yet to be seen because this will be my first time at Con as a board member.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I am interim in the position. I stepped in because someone stepped down before their election time was up and we needed someone to fill the role, and I have administrative experience. And so that's kind of the question this year is how do you balance all of that without kind of having smoke come out your ears?
Oh, but that also covers the question of like, what do you expect to be your greatest challenge this year? Like,
Being a new board member is definitely the answer to that question. Because I know that in addition to what I do year round, which in terms of systems, tends to be really more of a year round kind of thing, while we've shuffled some of the exact departments, I do work closely with registration and then our IT and software development, which Chase oversees. So the two of us work closely together for all of our software systems around year round. And there are several of them. The primary one that most people interact with is just the registration system, but there are several others that work together. And so year round, there's an ebb and flow of things, but then you get to Con and it's like, that's when there are all the unusual things that come up. So what do we end up doing at Con? And that'll be fun to find out.
Yeah. Well, like for one of the IT and the systems related parts of the Con, what comes to my mind and what might come to mind with some of the people watching this is the app.
Yes.
Yes, the app. That's really helpful to have.
That is one of my favorite things. When they implemented that, my cell phone immediately became my little pocket schedule.
Yes.
And that is, so our programming team does a fantastic job of getting everything from the software we use for programming into the software we use for everyone to view our programming in. And so there's just so many behind the scenes parts that go together, and that's been fascinating to find out about as I onboarded for this position.
Who is a guest of honor that you would love to see at CONvergence, and why?
Well, this is the hardest one that was on your list.
I'd have a difficult time answering myself. But,
So some of my answers, like, I would love to see some people come back because I got into them after they'd come. And that's always hard. So Shannon McGuire, she's a really great author. I love her Newsflash series. It's social media in the zombie apocalypse. It's fabulous.
We're heading there already.
And I started reading them right after she was a guest of honor. And so I kicking myself a little bit there. So that's one of those just missed it sort of things. I always have like the pie in the sky, who would I like to see? But
pie in the sky is
like,
fine, yeah.
But the reason I like CONvergence, it's that the guests are all people who are willing to be led around by volunteers at an all-volunteer convention. None of those people are going to come here. I don't even want to talk about them. I want to talk about the excellent people who do come to see us.
And there are so many excellent people. And like you said, with the learning after the fact, or learning just because of CONvergence, like for me, one of those people was Chuck Tingle, actually.
Yes.
Like I'd heard so many friends talk about Chuck Tingle, and Chuck Tingle. I was like, okay, Chuck Tingle. And then Chuck was a guest of honor. And then for interviewing, I had to interview Chuck, and then looked into some of Chuck's work for, researching or getting at least a little bit of a handle. And then the interview was so great. And then seeing Chuck on a panel, I was like, this is why everybody was always talking after the panel.
So that's the one I don't regret, because I did know about Chuck Tingle and I got to catch some of his panels. Fabulous.
That after thing, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But also, I think with part of CONvergence, there's the chance, well, like you said, they felt the guests feel so well taken care of that they're quite all right with coming back. Yeah. They want to come back. And so then there's a good chance that you might get to see them again. Well, thank you for joining us, CJ. I'm so pleased that you were able to take time out of your day to come in and talk to us here for CONLink. Excellent. And I look forward to seeing you at CONvergence, seeing you run around back and forth. And so far, registration has been going smoothly. So thank you. Thank you. And thank you for joining us for this episode of CONLink. I'm Gregory Parks. We will see you for the next one.